hopefully you've got time. If you joined one that was a few days old, then you've got lots of time, because most phases are like between 6 to like 8 days. Normally it's like 7 days a phase on average, right? So if you imagine each one of these is a week, so that's, you're into week 6 when you sign up for a new one. It's an interesting concept, which, because of the amount of content in the game, means that for someone like me that plays lots of games, I can go hard in phase 1 and hard in phase 2, right? Because I get all the regions apart from these 3. Phase 2 unlocks all the regions. So if I go hard in phase 1 and 2 as a solo PvEer, I don't join a warband or a hive or anything, I don't actually have too much to do during phases 3, 4 and 5. Which means I can go off and play other games. Yeah? So when you choose a new server at end, you start at level 1 again. Yes, you lose... Basically, you lose everything. With the exception, right? So, you won't lose any of your formulas, any of your stellar planula, any of your asterism crates, weapon mod parts, butterfly dies, chrysalis tokens, or pretty much everything in the special stays, pretty much. Your Starcrom stays. Your link disappears. Everything in construction stays. And then the one thing you have to think about, right, is you're going to lose all your gear. You're going to lose everything in your tools, your consumables, and your materials. Well, that will all go, right? But when you change, you have this thing called a space-time backpack, right? So if we go to here, when you start your new server, you'll have this screen, right, which is inherit resources. You get 20,000 points to spend. Do not carry across weapons and armor. It's ridiculously expensive and totally not worth it. Not least of which, you won't. If you're using tier 5 gear, you won't have the materials to repair it. When you go to a new season, the two best things you can bring across: an advanced rock drill and an advanced chainsaw. Totally changes the beginning of your game in terms of resource gathering, like massively. So bring across those. Bring across some of your best and favorite deviants, right? So just bring like your best eel, one of them, your best Lone Wolf's Whisper, your best bee, whatever. So bring across the best, one of each of your best deviants that you want. Don't bring every deviant, just the ones you want. They do get expensive. They rack up. I think it's like 50 points a deviant or something. The other thing that you'll want to consider bringing across is seeds. You don't have to do it straight away. You can see here, I spent like 15k of my points when I transferred in, but I've still got 4.3k left. So with that 4.3k, at any time, I can go, oh, I need some moral seeds, or I need some cucumber seeds. Great, I can just go here and bring it across. Yeah? Definitely don't bring weapons and armor. It's the worst thing you can bring. It's crazy expensive. Like, to bring a gun, I can't even do it. It's like more than half of your points just to bring shit like that across. Just stay, drill, chainsaw, best deviant, and seeds. And then if you have a few points left, some people bring across a particular calibration blueprint they really like. Yeah. The other thing to remember is, if you, like for me, this is my 8th time playing through a scenario. I've done Manibus 7 times. This is my 2nd Lunar Oracle. And I've done Way of Winter once. every time you change, all your materials, everything you've got in the current season, so all of the stuff that's in here and in your base and everything, goes into Eternaland, right? And in Eternaland, you can build a base on an island and all this kind of stuff. The problem is, if you don't go to Eternaland and sort out all your stuff, you will eventually run out of room, right? Because your inventory in Eternaland does have a cap. So it is worth, even if it's just a tiny base, build a mini base in Eternaland and sort out stuff that you're never going to bring across. So get rid of mats, sell level 1 skill, like skill 1, activity 1 deviance for astral sand and that sort of stuff, because it keeps your when you start a new scenario, it keeps it nice. So you can see, like, I don't have tons of garbage hides. I only have some of the best hides and stuff like that. I sorted out my deviants. I had tons of deviants, but I kept only, the best of the deviants I had, except for these things because they're the nightmare to sort out. But like the best Digby boys and all of that sort of stuff, right? So, because you will build this up really quick and you'll run out of room. Yeah. So the best thing you can do at the end is don't ignore Eternaland. But yeah, if there's the one piece of advice you go away with, which is don't bring weapons and gear, bring a drill and a chainsaw, and you're good. Good to know. Honestly, you play Path of Exile and never bother to sort your Standard League stuff, but you'll consider it here. So I didn't play Path of Exile 1. I'm really enjoying Path of Exile 2, so I haven't had that experience. In fact, I haven't really played many games that reset seasonal like this. So it's an interesting one for me. But say this is my 8th scenario playthrough. And I know that when I was in Eternaland before, so I can actually go to Eternaland now quickly. So if I just go up here, go to Eternaland, enter Eternaland. You can go to Eternaland anytime. Okay, so I actually got bored when I was in Eternaland, and I ended up building an entire castle with an entire little mini village, walled village behind it. Okay, you don't have to do this, right? You don't have to do this, but when you're here, right, you'll see if I just find like this paper doll. Let's sort this out. Right, so there's where have we got level 1 something? There you go, level 1, 2 here. Right, you've got basically your astral sand and all your different things here. So you can see here, astrolite I've got 0, but I've got 8.1 million astral sand. Yeah. And this is all the stuff that you then need to sort through, and you can sell it, right? You can sell it for different amounts of astral sand. So, where is it? Eternaland, shop order, manage. So you can change all your stuff about Eternaland. Guest permissions, people can visit you. What was the other stuff? Island roaming, shop order. So, like, if you come here and you can sell, right? And this is what I recommend you do. So, if you're in your Eternaland stuff here, and say you've got your garbage, there you go, garbage gingerbread house, right? You can sell it for astral sand. Bosh. Right? Astral sand is what you use to build things in Eternaland. So if you want to build something, it costs astral sand. And astrolite is something that you can get with like shop orders and like doing certain mission things. You can get astrolite. See, and with astrolite, you can buy trees and rocks as a as decoration. Basically, that's what the astrolite does. Yeah, so you got your order here, so you can do these as well. You're in the tier 3 area of a game on your first playthrough, level 26. Yeah, so I mean, if you're on your tier, you're about a third of the way through the game, right? And it depends if you want to play solo PvE or not. I'm a solo PvEer, right? So the only thing I don't do is I don't do Prime Wars, and I don't do the pro modes of any of the bosses. Sometimes I'll do the hard modes if I want. I play the game more as a chill than to be min-max hardcore. I enjoy survivor games. I enjoy base building. For me, this game, I enjoy doing the bosses. I don't mind farming them, but hard modes occasionally. If grouping is simple, you could try it later. So you don't have to join a hive and a warband, and if you press U is where people can advertise, so you can team up. So you can say, like, target dungeon, here's a group you can apply. You've got Rift Space, Ravenous Hunter normal, Treant normal, nothing. So there's one team getting ready for that. And nobody doing the others yet. Right, but hard. LEA Labs is on here as Forsaken Giant. You got the silos on here, pro mode. And then you've got the LEA Lab, which is pro only. So if you press U, you can try and join an existing team, right? But you don't have to join a warband or a hive. I don't, mainly because I play lots of other games. I live stream, but I also travel with work, and I don't want the commitment of being in a group, and a group can't, and a hive or a warband can't do something because I'm not there, right? So I prefer to play solo. And that's why I don't recommend doing any other... unless you want a PvP, right? If you're not interested in PvP, then Manibus is the place to be. Way of Winter, I completed all the regions, but I left halfway through the season because it was all about hives and warbands in the end game. So I was like, I'm out. And I went back to Manibus. And Manibus, you can do most of the game solo. You can solo hard mode bosses, right? You don't need a group for that. It's easier with a group, but you can do it. So hopefully that helps you out. Because there's so much to the game, right? There's just a lot here, and it can be quite confusing, especially when you start a new season and they go, oh, your Eternaland bags are full. Okay, right. I need to sort that out. There's a lot here. So, yeah, and there's like menus after menu after menu, trying to find out where you've got to go to do what. All 4 different things for Eternaland. Why you can't just right-click and sell your items straight from your bag, but you can't. Right, you've got to go here, and you've got to go shop order. Right. So, and then you've got tons of different event things and stuff. To be honest, I mean, redeeming stuff, there's not too much. I mean, in terms of redeeming, the most important thing to redeem is you click on Manibus and it's your scenario challenges. Right? That is the thing to redeem, scenario challenges, which you can get that way, or you can press Y, and that brings you to this page. And your journeys by pressing J. Everything else, it's not game-changing stuff. Like, okay, so here, lunacy suppressant. Yeah, okay. Some med packs. The occasional cosmetic, and most of the cosmetics, to be honest, are trash. That are free. They're just like, oh look, a brown pair of shoes. Oh look, a blue pair of shoes. Right? Occasionally there's some good cosmetics, and that's how I've kind of built mine up. But there's nothing. You're not really missing anything. If you start a scenario, going to events and regular and getting some of these can really help out. And the battle pass. If there's one thing you want to spend money on in the game, the advanced battle pass is the best thing you can spend money on. Right, so if you want to be free to play, that's perfectly fine. You could. This game is very easy to play, free to play. You're not missing out, right? But if you were to spend money on the game, if there's anything you're interested in, the only thing I would spend money on is the battle pass. Say, unless you want to get cosmetics. So I'm not that into most of the cosmetics. The Lightforge loot crate is an absolute scam. Not a scam, but the odds of getting the stuff out there mean, like, to get the vehicle cosmetic, it's like 160, 200 bucks, right? But I did buy the house cosmetic stuff because I think it looks really cool. The game's free. I'm happy to support the game. Absolutely. So I think the house cosmetic stuff they've done here is really good because it changes the entire look of your base. I mean, look at that. That looks freaking amazing. So does that. And in fact, I do quite like this one. I just haven't bought it yet. But the Lightforge loot crate, if you're trying to chase like a vehicle or something from it, like if you're trying to chase something particular in it, man alive. Like I tested it. I went and got the SUV thing from the new Lightforge loot crate. It was like 160 bucks to get it, right? Because you're just it's random loot crate, right? Guys, no. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of, like, I get it, like in Path of Exile 2, stash tabs, right? Yeah, gotta have it. But yeah, the loot crates don't get. But if you did want, like I say, the battle pass is worth it. And personally, I like, this is one of the cosmetic packs. This glass one that I've got here. Yeah, I really like it. Oh look, I didn't change the pattern. So if I go to here, print. I never did update that. There. And pretty much everything else you pick up as you go along, just by playing the game. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything I can think of that will be of use in the short term. But like I said, if you've got any questions, give me a shout. All my Once Human content goes up on YouTube, so just post a comment in one of the YouTube videos and I'll answer it as quick as I can if you've got any questions. But on that note, it's 10 o'clock. It's been a long stream. We're going to wrap it up and I'll be streaming all day tomorrow. And then after that, I'll be streaming next Friday. You subbed in back in the future. Have a good night. Hey, buddy, look, thanks very much. Really appreciate the sub. Hope I can entertain you at least a little bit. And I say if I can help, I will absolutely do as much as I can. I've played this game quite a lot, so, I don't know everything, but I know a little bit about a little bit. So thanks very much for that. Have a great night. Thanks for all those that are also watching on Twitch. And I will see you all tomorrow as we wrap up Phase 1, Once Human, and this is the second playthrough of Lunar Oracle. You've been watching The Ghost Owl. Have a great night.